Episode 2 of Finn the Detective, Mystery of the Magic Key. Finn the Detective continues to investigate the theft of the Queen of England's crown jewels.
The key now possesses the magic to open any lock, bypass any security system and allow me to enter any building without being seen. Invisible. At last, after all these years, the goblin became angry and disgruntled.
Merlin tricked me. Merlin knew that no one would kiss an ugly goblin. Well, thank you, Princess Harriet, you have given me the power of the magic key.
Merlin thought that by giving the goblin a key with magic powers, the goblin would be forever in his debt. Merlin of course passed away, but the goblin grew older and older.
The goblin wanted revenge for his wasted years in the castle. The descendants of King Arthur will be punished. I, Bodman the Goblin, will have my revenge.
It's payback time. I will steal the Queen of England's crown jewels. For I, Bodman the Goblin, have a magic key to enable me to bypass any security system.
Whilst in conversation with the goblin, Princess Harriet had described the life she led in the royal household, Buckingham Palace, Sandringham and its beautiful Norfolk countryside, Windsor Castle, the Tower of London where the crown jewels were kept. I live a very happy life, she said.
Would you take me to London, Princess Harriet? I'd love to meet the Queen and the royal household.
Why yes, of course I would. I'm sure the Queen would love to meet you, especially as you knew King Arthur. He's a distant relative. I'll take you sightseeing as well.
The next day Princess Harriet and the Goblin, Bodman the Goblin, set off to the airport. Destination, London. The flight enabled the Goblin to think through his cunning plot. The crime of the century. The crown jewels would soon be in his hands. Because, he had, the magic key.
Welcome to Buckingham Palace, Mr. Bodman. Please tell me all about King Arthur and Merlin. I am so interested and very pleased to meet you.
The Queen listened intently about the goblin's life, King Arthur and Merlin the Great Wizard. Little did she know that the goblin was fiendishly planning to steal the crown jewels, the royal crown jewels. For he, Bodman the Goblin, now had the activated magic key. The Queen asked the goblin if he would have time to meet Prince Charles.
Why yes, I'd love to meet Prince Charles. Thank you for the invitation.
In the afternoon, the goblin met up with Princess Harriet in Windsor Park.
Did you have a nice time with the Queen and Prince Charles?
It was a most delightful morning. Prince Charles has given me a job to test the Tower of London security system.
Oh, that's great. Absolutely fabulous. Oh, that will be fun. And will put the Queen's mind at rest. I don't know what she would do without her crown jewels.
Yes, but it will only be a game. Pretending to steal the crown jewels. Prince Charles has given me written authority. While you and I pretend to steal the crown jewels, the Tower of London will be closed to the public tomorrow. That is when we will test the security system. Don't worry though, no one has ever come close to getting near the jewels. Prince Charles explained to me this morning that the jewels are heavily guarded, so there is absolutely no chance of even us two getting close.
Unbeknown to any of the royal household, Bodman the Goblin sneaked off during the night. With his magic key he could easily make his way out of Buckingham Palace. The gnome was invisible. With his magic key he bypassed all the security systems at the Tower of London. He made his way into the room that held the jewels. The goblin had no problem in stealing the Queen's crown jewels. The jewels were now his. On his return to Buckingham Palace he once again bypassed all the guards.
On his return to Buckingham Palace, he awoke Princess Harriet and persuaded her to accompany him back to King Arthur's castle.
I need to collect a gift for Prince Charles and the Queen, in order to present it to them in the morning.
So off they flew back to Cornwall. Bodman the Goblin had tricked Princess Harriet. He had no intention of returning to London, because he had just stolen the crown jewels.
Breaking news. The Queen of England's crown jewels have been stolen. There are no clues as to how the most heavily guarded place on earth could have been penetrated.
Is there any clue as to how they were stolen?
No one has any clue. It's the crime of the century.
Princess Harriet sobbed, as she recalled what the goblin had done, tricking her to allow the goblin to steal the Queen's crown jewels. And now, here they were, Finn the Detective and Princess Harriet both locked up in this dungeon, a really dismal place, with no hope of escape.
Don't worry, Princess Harriet. I've got a plan. I've been in trickier situations than this. I have an escape plan. We will escape shortly and return the crown jewels to the Queen.
But how do you plan to escape, Detective Finn?
Do not worry, Princess Harriet. All will be clear in the morning when the goblin brings us our breakfast. Just follow my lead. We will be out of here tomorrow.
Princess Harriet and Finn the detective were awoken by the goblin.
Wake up, your breakfast is here. Please enjoy it, as there will be no more until I go shopping this afternoon. Shopping with the magic key. Now I can have anything I want.
Before you go, we were only saying last night. Now that you have the magic key, you could now become the King of England. With your crown jewels, that is. Only one thing though.
What is that? Of course I could be the King of England. I have the magic key. I can do anything, be anyone.
Yes, I am sure you could become the King of England. Just like King Arthur. But of course you will need the royal robes.
What royal robes? Tell me where they are. Tell me now. I will become the King of England, ruler of this land.
Of course, Detective Finn. You were quite right. The person that owns the crown jewels is entitled to rule this land. But you will need to wear the royal robes to become king.
Well, of course. I knew that. We will return to London and acquire the royal robes. With the magic key, I will have no problem.
You would be far better, letting us accompany you, as we know the precise location of the royal robes.
Yes, you will accompany me to avoid suspicion. No funny tricks though, or you will be sorry. I, Bodmin the Goblin, will become King of England. I will be crowned in London.
Of course, this was all a plan to escape from King Arthur's castle, return the crown jewels to the Queen, and to lock up Bodmin the Goblin. Bodmin was a criminal.
It has been 3 weeks since the crown jewels of England were stolen. There is still no sign of any breakthrough, is there, Russell?
No, Tom. Despite further suspects being brought in for questioning, our sources tell us the British police have no further clues. It's a mystery.
There are fears, we believe from our sources, that it could have been an inside job. Princess Harriet has not been seen for a very long time. Palace sources dismiss this speculation. Having said that, Interpol are desperate to interview her. She may be able to help with their inquiries. The search goes on. Please contact the police if you suspect anything.
We have just this minute heard, Tom, that Interpol have issued an international warrant for the arrest of Finn the detective.
Finn the detective?
Yes, Finn the detective.
Well, who would believe it? The famous Finn the detective. He's solved so many mysteries in his time. Surely he could not be involved in such a crime.
I know, Tom. He recently solved the mystery of the Pyramid Stones. His book is a bestseller on Amazon Prime.
And don't forget the mystery of the Golden Dragon, in which he came to the rescue of the 8 immortals in China.
Of course, all the new speculation was far from the truth, as it was Bodmin the Goblin who was the real bad guy. Bodmin was now on his way back to London.
No tricks, you two. Any tricks and you will be very, very, very sorry. Extremely sorry. Now, Princess Harriet, where will I find the royal robes? For I, Bodmin the Goblin, will soon be King of England. With the royal robes and the crown jewels safely in the boot of this car, I will be crowned a King of England. I will be the greatest ruler of this fair land. I will be rich, rich beyond my wildest dreams. Now, where will I find the royal robes?
Windsor Castle. You will find the royal robes at Windsor Castle. Finn and I will take you to the precise place. And with that information, the three of them set off to Windsor Castle. Finn the detective was pleased that the goblin had not suspected that he and Harriet were leading the goblin into a trap. Finn had solved the mystery. All that was needed now was for the goblin to be arrested. Very soon, Bodmin the Goblin would be arrested by the Windsor Castle guards. The goblin did not suspect anything. He thought he was about to acquire the royal robes. Finn the detective, Princess Harriet and Bodmin the Goblin, or Bodmin the bad guy as Finn had nicknamed him, walked through Windsor Great Park again, towards Windsor Castle. Bodmin the Goblin, aka Bad Guy, was mistakenly thinking that he would soon be crowned as King of England. The crown jewels had been left in the boot of the car.
Finn reminded himself of the final plan. Princess Harriet rang the doorbell to the secret back door entrance to Windsor Castle. This was the main entrance for the royal household. The door opened, and without any warning for Bodmin the Goblin, the Queen of England's guards stormed out to arrest the goblin. The goblin didn't know what had hit him. With perfect timing, the soldiers grabbed Bodman the goblin. He did not have a chance. The Queen's guards had been waiting for him. Bodman the goblin was escorted to jail and remanded in custody awaiting trial. Charged with stealing the crown jewels and kidnapping Princess Harriet.
All the evidence presented at court pointed to Bodman the Goblin, aka Bodman the bad guy, responsible for stealing the crown jewels and kidnapping of Princess Harriet. At the trial of Bodman the Goblin, Finn the detective and Princess Harriet gave their evidence. The trial concluded with Bodman the Goblin being found guilty of all counts: the theft of the Queen of England's crown jewels and kidnapping of Princess Harriet. Finn the detective and Princess Harriet became instant celebrities. They were invited to all the talk shows. They appeared in all the glossy magazines and were always in the news.
May I introduce the famous Finn the detective who, together with Princess Harriet, solved the mystery of the magic key. Finn the detective has just published his next book on Amazon Prime, The Mystery of the Pyramid Stones. It's a fantastic book. I believe you have just finished the next book, Finn.
Yes, Finn the Detective and the Mystery of the Golden Dragon is the third book of my adventures. The first was Finn the Detective Mystery of the Magic Key. The second book was Finn the Detective, Mystery of the Pyramid Stones, out now on Amazon Prime. The third in the series, Finn the Detective, Mystery of the Golden Dragon.
Finn the detective was awarded the Knight of the Garter for solving the mystery of the magic key. The Queen was very pleased he had found the stolen crown jewels. Finn the detective has been appointed by the Queen to ensure the crown jewels security system is always working effectively. No problems to date. Goodbye.
Finn the Detective was created by Finn Svekis, grandson of Indulis Svekis. We hope you continue to follow Finn the Detective adventures. Thank you for watching this video, Finn the Detective and the Magic Key. You can read all about Finn's next adventure, Finn the Detective, Mystery of the Pyramid Stones. Out now on Amazon Prime. Out on Amazon Prime.